Hey, what's up, everyone? So, yeah, I'm going to go live from time to time because I just want to get the opportunity to interact with you guys a little bit more and need to figure out what times work best for each of you. Because I know Carol sometimes gets up, I actually sometimes upload between 3 a.m. in the morning and 4 a.m. in the morning. And she actually comments around then. And I know Melissa O'Brien usually comments around that time too. Hey, what's up, Alex? How you doing, brother? And I know Melissa lives in Ireland, so that's like an 8 hour difference. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna do this from time to time because I believe it helps with the interaction. I want to hear your guys' questions for me, and if you have any personal question, what's up, Gemma? How you doing? Good to see you. How's life treating you guys? And when I come on, it's more gonna be I'm well. I'm well, Gemma. Thank you. How about yourself? Life treating you well? So yeah, when I upload these, it's more gonna be for you guys. It's not gonna be any kind of content I'm looking to make. I'm just gonna speak from the heart. And if there's not a hey, Carol, yeah, I know I have an abnormal schedule. What is what time zone are you in? Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Gemma. That's great to hear. And so yeah, so whenever you guys comment, I'm gonna stop talking. Basically, I'm just going to talk about my day, my story, what I'm doing. And if you guys comment about something, if you have a personal question that I could possibly answer, if you have questions in your life that I can possibly answer, I will do my very best. Ah, okay. So you get up early in the morning then. You're up super early. Well, thank you for commenting so early when you do. And also, how's the blog coming along? The Khabib Connor situation? So my whole thing in that was I did not like how it was ran at all. As as a fighter, we should respect one another. Ah, okay, that makes sense, Carol. We should respect one another and largely put, I get why Connor did what Connor did. What's up, Curtis? How you doing, brother? I get why Connor did what he did. And I get why Khabib did what he did. And it wasn't right. I don't want to justify it by any means. But my big thing is I say you take responsibility. Always take responsibility. And I'm talking about myself as well. The reason I say that is because the UFC promoted violence. They promoted it. They promoted doing criminal acts. If you watch the commercial, it shows over and over and over again Connor throwing that dolly into the bus and actually hurting another human being. And so, whatever happened after that point, it was up to us to say, we can't condone this. We can't watch something like this. And I watched it too. So, I'm part to blame of the whole mishap. We all were a part of it because I know as human beings sometimes we like to see train wrecks and it's get it on, Curtis. Good stuff, brother. And when we like to see train wrecks, we'll we'll pay to watch it. The UFC knew that. It was a money grab, and they did what they had to do. We watched it, but you have to deal with the consequences when you do something like that. So for Khabib to do what he did, even though that was unjust as well, um, you got to look at the whole picture. So I think everyone within that whole process was at fault. Are they going to have a rematch? I don't know. I There's a lot going on with a lot of craziness. Now they're talking about how Khabib might fight Mayweather, and it's all just they're all just trying to find money wherever they can. Posted my first blog. Oh, cool. Send me the link so I can check it out. Love to check your blog out. If you get the chance, check mine out too. Mine's pretty easy to find. It's www.cliffordstarks.com. So that is awesome for you, Carol. Congratulations. That's really cool. So all in, yeah, actually, I didn't know. Hey, what's up, School of Rock? How you doing? So yeah, I didn't even know if I was going to make a video on the Conor and Khabib thing. But did you have any other questions on the Conor and Khabib? Because I did call a fourth round. I thought he was going to TKO him, but he ended up submitting him. The truth of the matter is, in the fourth round, I knew Conor was going to give up one way or another because the choke wasn't even under the chin. And I'm not saying Conor's not tough. I just know Khabib can take your gas tank away and make you feel very human very quick. He's a very strong fighter, and he did what I thought he was going to do. I did see Khabib getting hurt early in the first round. It didn't happen that way. Um, a little bit sometimes. Like my I the best thing I can say with that is I kind of have nerves of steel. They were conditioned into me though. I'm gonna tell you that in a second, Alex. They were kind of conditioned into me. The reason being is so fear and nervousness, it's a mechanism that really protects us. It keeps us safe from harm. And so in our minds, we'll create these weird fears that aren't even there and make them bigger and stronger than they really are. Like one of the funniest things is public speaking is a major fear for people. When the truth of the matter is nothing bad can happen to you except you can look like an idiot when you're public speaking. That's the worst that can happen to you. You're not going to have people run up on the stage and attack you. You're not going to have any of that. And so I believe my nerves of steel came from being a fighter. As a fighter, we're walking into dangerous situations where we can actually get hurt, and we're walking into it anyway. And our minds can be telling us whatever they want to tell us, but fighters have to condition themselves to just do what they got to do and make it happen and do the best that they can be. Yeah, there's some truth to that. So let me get to Alex first. Um, can anyone beat Khabib? Tony Ferguson is an interesting matchup just because he doesn't stop coming. I have seen Khabib get tired before. So if anyone was going to beat him, I would say Tony Ferguson has the best shot at beating him. Fear coming from the ego, yes, you're being afraid of something that can happen in your personal life and thinking about everything that could be happening to you. So if you just let go of the ego within yourself, then that fear can go away. But with that being said, it is important to know that we have that. Hey, Holler, how you doing? We do have that ego in the back of our heads all the time, and we have to be stronger than it. And there's little techniques that you can do to calm yourself down. The funny thing is, I actually had a interesting thing happen to one of my clients and one of my coaches at the gym, and they went at it for a little bit, and I ended up calming them down. And I knew they were both in bad moods for different reasons, and rightfully so. Yeah, that is true, Carol. It takes people practice. It takes time and a lot of practice. Um, but yeah, I knew they were both in bad moods, and I figured out why my client was in such a bad mood. And her friend basically just disrespected her horribly. I mean, she kind of explained what was going on, and she was hurt from a friend who was her friend was attacking her, right? Just attacking her, saying negative things about her, and she was distraught. And she told her, okay, I will answer that in 1 second, Gemma. And so I told her that it was going to be okay. And did she have the right to get offended by what her friend said? Absolutely. Her friend said very hurtful things. And she retaliated by saying hurtful things back to her. And so in reality, no, absolutely not, Curtis. I do like fear though, personally. I like it because I think it's not the fear, it's the act on the fear. But she was frustrated, and I had mentioned to her that people, hey, take care, brother. You have a good one, man. I had mentioned to her that people really need to know where they are in their friendship. They need to realize where they're at, and you never really truly get mad at anyone if you step back and look at the situation for what it is. That anger will dissipate because people are just in different spots. That's just the truth of the matter. Some people are only lifting 50 pounds in life, where there's other people and they can lift 2,000 pounds. And I mean, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. There's some people who are just, they have a mental strength to them that the world can't break them. And then there's other people who, where the smallest thing will actually absolutely wreck them. And I think if you were to go into a weight room and you saw someone lifting 2,000 pounds and the other person only lifting 50 pounds, you wouldn't be mad at that person for lifting 50 pounds, you know? And so they're going to be on opposite sides of the weight room. Why would you have someone who could lift 2,000 pounds versus someone who can only lift 50 pounds and they're constantly racking and re-racking for each other? You know what I mean? Like, it just makes everything a lot more complicated. And that's where the frustration would come from. And so that's why when you're dealing with dark or negative people and you don't want to be that way, you just remove yourself from the situation. You don't have to deal with any of that stuff. Not to say that it's ever right, because it's not. I don't justify it and I don't condone it. But I always say, what's up, Orla? How you doing? Oh, I'm sure it's cold out there and green, which is, Ireland's a beautiful place. I really have to visit it sometime. But what I was getting at was you never justify those actions, but I never justify the bad actions of another human being, but I do still love the human being. I think as human beings, we're infinitely potential. We have infinite potential, and the only way you'll ever get it out of someone is if you realize that they do have that. And so let me see if I can find. Oh, there we go. That's how you do it. All right, Gemma, I am going to get to your question. Let me see. Um, I don't I don't think anyone's untrainable. I do think people will make the choice they choose to make. So I look at life as I give them options and they get to choose the option they're going to choose. And that's okay. Like, that's the beauty of it. That's the fun of the journey, is you just give them the option. And if they choose your option, that's great. And if they choose not to choose your option, that's fine too. You do the best you that you can do, and you just go and enlighten people, because some people do want to live in the darkness. They want to do that. They want to spread that message. And that's kind of what makes it a little bit fun, is life should have struggle. That's the fun of it. If you can appreciate the struggle, that's what it comes down to. I think too often people do not take the time to really appreciate the fact that they're struggling, because struggle means that you're living. And it shows that watch me get out of this. Watch me create something beautiful. Anyway, you being one to fight for the autistic community, imagine if no one was fighting for anything. Imagine if everything just worked perfectly. And it sounds like a very beautiful thing, but think of it this way. Those who go to the gym to work out, they go to the gym to maintain. They maintain themselves and they feel amazing by maintaining themselves. And that is the beauty of life, is there's a constant struggle of maintenance. You have to maintain. And so in a way, we kind of feel like having this perfect world would be an awesome thing to have, but I think human beings would go mad if it was a perfect world and if everything just worked out the way that it needed to work out. And so that's what keeps me to drive on the motivation, on motivating people. I will always do that. I will always do my best. And let's say the entire world was to become motivated. Let's say the entire world was to become empowered. I would find something else to do. If not that, then something else. Something else that makes me feel alive. And what makes human beings feel alive is to have some form of challenge, some way, somehow. We want to have challenge because it just makes life fun. Let's see. Yeah, for sure, Gemma. I'm glad you liked it. Because yeah, I know you've dealt with some bullies on your channel from time to time, and that's okay. They make us stronger at the end of the day. Every time, they will always. Hey, you did make it, Melissa. Yeah, I was just saying you are. You being in Ireland, it's an 8-hour difference, so I didn't know if you're going to make it or not. So great to see you here, and we do have to do a live with the breathing techniques with Patrick McCowan. Did you ever get to the Wim Hof too? I'm curious because those are two excellent books, and it really shows the power of what breathing can do. Yeah, that it really shows the power of breathing and the breathing techniques, and the science behind it is absolutely mind-boggling. It's astonishing. Yeah, he's done amazing things. And I know Carol was mentioning the ego, and it's really funny because Wim Hof actually talks about, he says, no ego, we go. And he was mentioning how the older people climbing up Mount Everest, it was easier to get the older people to climb up Mount Everest than it was the younger people, because the younger people's ego would get in their way and they would say, I can't do this, I'm not capable, I have to train longer. He didn't train these people that long. He didn't train these people that long to get ready for this climb. And he said, trust me, and it's going to come together. Older people kind of learn to let go of their ego, where younger people, they're really holding on to their ego. And that's the beauty of life. Like we kind of have to go back and forth a little bit and continue to put things together and get stronger from them. And so that's another thing. Like when you have the opportunity to motivate and empower someone, the truth is you're learning from each other. Like, so my goal is to meet as many people as possible and hear as many stories as I possibly can and just try and help a person shine. And if they choose not to shine, they choose not to shine. And I'm not gonna sit there and try and force them to shine. If they don't want to shine, they don't want to shine. They always say in business, they say trying to get someone to do something that doesn't want to do it is like trying to get a pig to sing. You're going to get frustrated because the pig can't sing, and the pig's going to get frustrated at you because it doesn't want to learn how to sing. It doesn't care what you care about. And so that's when you cut your losses, you move on to the next person, and you enjoy that. That's the beauty of life. That's what it comes down to. And I'm really happy with what I got going on because we got a community growing here. We got everything coming together. Everything at the gym is going very well. And my friend with the guy with the drug problem, he's just absolutely crushing it and doing some of the most amazing things. And what's really, really cool about that is, so I'm going to start training other people within the intervention world. It really changed his life, and he wants to change other people's lives as well. The ego, yes, they truly are. And when you learn to control them all. Thanks, Melissa. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, Carol, when you can put everything together, you'd be surprised how empowered you can become. But it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of practice. Like even myself, I'm 37 years old right now, and I want to be even better at 38, and then at 39, and then at 40. I want to constantly move forward, constantly tailoring my skill sets and touching as many lives as I can along the way, and just making people realize the strength that they really have, putting it all together. And that's the truth. Like, I don't think any one human being can really put it together by themselves. I think it takes people coming together because we all have our blind spots. And having an individual who can see those blind spots and really, oh, hey, Ivana, good to see you. And seeing those blind spots is what makes it a game changer. And so I don't think we can see those blind spots unless the right people come into our lives to show us those blind spots and push us and drive us into the, yes, absolutely, and drive us into the direction that we need to go into. And that's why they always say you kind of become a product of the five people that you hang around. So be really cautious who you decide to hang around with. And when you do hang around those people, realize that you are creating your own destiny. That's the truth of the matter. I think sometimes people often don't realize how powerful it is, the group that they surround themselves with. And I want a group that's continually growing and learning and putting things together. Some people don't want those kind of groups, and that's okay too. I say just be honest with yourself and realize that you do create your own destiny. And sometimes people don't believe that's true, but the truth of the matter is that that's the truth. They say whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're right in both occasions. And that's absolutely true. And what I do my best to do is to make sure that people really realize that. Sometimes I'll meet people and they won't have any idea that that's the truth, and then they start thinking back and they look back on their lives and realize, wow, everything really is up to me. Everything is up to me. It's my choice. It's truly my choice. And that's where people will become empowered, when they realize that it's their choice that they do what they do. Sometimes you'll get people complaining about the jobs they work or the people they're with or the things they're doing in life. And they can either choose to change it or choose to accept this is where they're at and do the necessary things to make it a brighter future for them. But choice is always available. It's always available. You can do whatever you want to do in this world. And that's what's so cool about it. And spreading that to people and letting them realize that the capabilities always been in their hands. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, this experience with my friend, I'm probably gonna mention his name pretty soon. I just don't want to do it yet. He's actually given me the okay to mention his name, but I feel there's people not looking out for him in his best interests, and they're going to try and bring him down. And so I really don't say his name to protect him, even though he wants me to say his name. I don't think he's quite ready yet. I think he's growing tremendously. I think he's doing a great job. I just, like I say, I always remind people to go 100% on themselves first. You have to build yourself first, because there's an old saying of 20 people cheering and 80 people booing. And that's true. You're going to have 20 people who are going to have your back, and you're probably going to have 80 people who aren't going to have your back. And it's not even for malice reasons every time. It's not that they personally have something against you. It could be they're personally hurt themselves. It could be they're just abiding by the situation. It could be, yes, it can be for whatever reason. And that's why you have to strengthen yourself through trial and error, and you have to move forward and create the greatness in this world that you can create when it really comes down to it. Oh, okay. So I'm actually thinking of putting a brand together, but I don't know how to make it look. And I do remember I used to see this vision, and it was like this little puzzle piece, this large puzzle piece, and I was putting it together, and I was trying to figure out what the shape was, and I snapped one puzzle piece in the correct spot, and the puzzle came together, and it was a honeycomb, and it was a green looking honeycomb, and I felt what it meant, and it meant togetherness. Like we're all in this together. So we empower one another when we do it correctly. And we put the honeycomb becomes strengthened by the sums of its parts. So I don't know how to make a logo of, because I don't want to just do a honeycomb. I want to make it interesting, and I want to make it where I can put it on anything. So if you guys have any ideas, that would be great. I would thoroughly appreciate that. If not, think about it for a little bit and let me know if you find anything. And so are there any more questions? Because if there is not, I am going to take off and get my day started. Everybody good? All right. All right. Thank you for stopping by. It was great seeing you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day. Oh, yes. Thank you, Carol. And I hope you have an amazing day as well. I hope you all have a great day. I appreciate you all. You're all awesome. Take care, people.